We are Coyote Radio.
Your Coyote Radio, howling worldwide.
Welcome back. You are listening to Coyote Radio from the campus of California State University, San Bernardino. We are delighted that you're joining us here today because we're all taking a few moments to learn about epilepsy. Monday is Global Purple Day, and that is a day that has been recognized, put aside to recognize epilepsy and make all of us a little bit more aware. Those who have epilepsy and those who live with folks who have epilepsy are quite aware of it. And it is something that, as Meghan pointed out at the beginning of the show, 1 in 100 people have it. So millions and millions of people have it. You could be in the supermarket, and very easily somebody could be having an epileptic seizure in front of you. What we want today is for you to leave this program knowing what to do and how to help these folks. And if it's something that's in your family, we want you to be a little bit more aware of what's going on and what it all really means. Because it's nothing really to be afraid of, but it is something to be aware of. And so today we're being joined by Laci Wilkins, by Meghan Kennedy, and by Diane Wilkins, and they're going to help us get to the bottom of all of that. First of all, I'd like to say welcome to the program, Laci.
Thank you for having me.
It's a lovely name you have. I just wanted to compliment you on that.
Thank you.
Laci's here today to talk to us because she has epilepsy, much like Meghan, but we wanted to get a different perspective of what it feels like and what the whole experience is. First of all, how old are you, Laci?
I'm 28.
She's 28 years old. And how long have you...
26 years.
You've had it 26 years. So you've gone through all of your childhood having these experiences. Why don't you reflect on that a little bit for us?
Actually, my first seizure was at the age of 2. My parents were out on a date, and I stayed with my aunt and uncle, and they noticed something was really strange because I had blanked out, wasn't responding, and that at the time I was having a grand mal seizure.
Wow. That must have been terrifying.
Yes.
I mean, not for you, but who were you with?
My aunt.
You were with your aunt. Oh, my goodness. So she must have been...
Oh, and that was the very first seizure.
Wow. Okay. So what has it been like? Tell me a little bit more growing up with epilepsy, being in grade school and so forth.
Actually, it was very hard because I had to miss a lot of school. And the way I was treated, it was not very easy either because here I would have to go to school, but I would also have a lot of seizures, so I was missing out on all the lessons from passing out. And then after school or even during school recesses, I would get made fun of. Other students would be acting like they were having seizures and laughing about it, or I would be getting punished for another student's bad behaviors, whatever it may have been.
Yeah.
I was always getting taken advantage. When it came to middle school, it was more harder. I almost got arrested for protecting myself, and at the time, I had no clue what I was doing. A couple of girls came from behind me and just punched me in my stomach, and then with seizures and epilepsy, you get behavioral problems. And at the time, I had no clue I had a behavioral problem. I wasn't aware, and the school was not responsible to keep any records.
Gotcha.
And then when I got into high school, it was a little bit more easier.
So epilepsy was at the core of all that?
Yes.
And nobody realized it?
Correct.
Okay. Is that common, Laci?
Yes, it can be very common. I had a lot of seizures at the time, but in 1999, I qualified for the brain surgery, where they put cracked my skull and put the stents in my brain to see where the seizures were coming from. And then I got a vagus nerve stimulator, and that actually helped a lot. It took away the grand mal seizures.
Wow.
But I was still having small ones. Today, I'm not able to go to college like I'd like because of my learning disability. I've tried out College of the Desert and Palm Desert, California, and they said I wasn't ready for college yet. So I got 6 units in childcare.
Very good.
And I'm working on going back to school for the rest.
Excellent. Way to go, Laci. Let me ask you, what, if somebody's listening right now, and we've just heard the words of someone who's grown up with epilepsy and how tough it is to be a child. We're trying to make adults aware of what to do around with epilepsy when you have it and when you're around somebody having a seizure. I think Laci just exemplified that right there. Children need to know about this. Children need to know about it because that, that is a lack of awareness when children are cruel to someone else because it's something they don't understand. Administrators need to be aware of it. Laci just showed us that it can change behavior in children as well. So there's a lot of awareness that needs to go on. But Laci, as you're sitting here and you know people are listening, what is the number one thing that you, having grown up with this, that you wish people knew about epilepsy?
Well, I wish they would know more about it, to be more aware of people around them. In the desert, a lot of people with epilepsy are getting arrested right now for thinking that they're drunk, which it's not always true.
I see Meghan shaking her head
And
here.
It's very bad because epilepsy isn't as popular in the communities like cancers. You see a lot of...
we don't talk about it as much as we do cancer. Now, you're saying something else that seems very important. Law enforcement needs to know a lot more about how to recognize epilepsy and seizures, because yes, if you're having seizures and you're alone and you're taken to jail, that's the worst place you could be when you're having a health issue. You need to be under the care of somebody, at least a family member who knows how to handle it, or a doctor, but certainly not there. And so the whole world needs to know a little bit more about it.
Yes.
Okay. Laci, what has been the hardest part in dealing with this as something? Because I imagine it would be, I'm thinking if I had epilepsy, it would be nerve-wracking. When I'm going someplace, I'm thinking, if it's something important, please, God, on my graduation day, don't let me have a seizure. Please, God, while I'm driving, while I'm taking my driving exam, don't let me have a seizure. But as you said, you can't drive. On important days, I think it would be a nervous wreck. But tell me what it's like, too. It's
a very, very difficult situation. A lot of people, like in the LA area, will have driver's license and they're not aware. They're not communicating with their doctor, so they get their driver's license, and a seizure is just as risky as a heart attack or a stroke behind the wheel.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do not get auras, a notification before the seizure. When I was younger, I did get auras, but since I got into my 20s, I have not got any. And I cannot drive. I do not go out very often by myself. 5 years ago, when I moved to the desert, I sat at a Starbucks, and before I even had a drink, I woke up and I noticed that I had a seizure, and I walked there, and it was very, very embarrassing because I had to ask an employee to please take me home. Also, I've had problems with relationships because I'm not fully aware exactly all the time of what's in a relationship. A lot of, in my past I had dated, but a lot of guys had put me down because after they saw me having a seizure, they thought they were responsible in some type of way, which that is not true. It's something we cannot control. If we can control it, I'm sure hundreds of people would have been able by now.
Yeah. And there again, your partners need to understand it better. We need to make everybody a little bit more aware. Laci, I appreciate you coming here and your bravery for telling us about uncomfortable parts of your life. I think it's a good thing. It helps people a little bit become a little bit more aware of the other side of the story and the importance of knowing about it. We're going to take a quick break here for a minute, and then I'd like to bring in Laci's mom, Diane Wilkins, to tell us what it's like to be the mom. But before this program is over, we're going to talk a little bit more with Meghan, and we're going to dispel some of the myths and the things that you need to know as you go out into the world, aware of the fact now that so many people around us have epilepsy. Will make all of us a little bit smarter today. There'll be some good stuff happening here Stay with us. You're listening to Coyote Radio from Cal State San Bernardino. I'm Laci Kendall. We'll be right back.